Before we begin, please be advised that this show may contain some adult themes that may not be appropriate for all listeners. Use your discretion. Now, on to our show. Welcome to the Sip and Saga Society, where we cover histories, mysteries, and just any story worth telling. Once a month, Karina, Randi, and Greg take turns doing a deep dive on a subject of our choosing. I am Karina, one of your hosts, and also this is my month. This is my deep dive. I would choose the Sexy History Month.
I actually think it just randomly was given to you.
Is it
She's like, it
random?
wasn't. She's like, it wasn't random at all.
I chose. Well, it's like if I was gonna pick one, it would be this one. This
It
is
would
like
be.
it.
No,
It
the
makes
alignment
sense.
is correct.
It's
The
amazing.
alignment is
Yeah.
correct.
Somebody planned this. It wasn't me, but
Premeditated.
The
we meditated about
universe.
it. Yeah.
The universe.
So today we're gonna cover the life of Ida Craddock. Craddock, however you want to say it. A woman few have heard of, but who spent her time scandalizing the world by being her outspoken self. And she made sure she was heard. But before we get to that, what are we drinking, guys? And Brandy, is it
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper or Dr. Pibb?
It is a mix. So I actually still have some of the hard cider left. So I popped one open for this very fun time. I mean, can you do sexy history without a drink? I don't know that you can.
I didn't think so, so I went to the gas station to see what I could find.
Yeah, I like being depressed sober, but like if I'm gonna have a good time, I want to be drinking.
So if we're
So,
gonna
That's fair.
Yeah, you know what,
so,
Randy, you're right. If I'm gonna be having a good time, it better be elevated.
so I've got the Black Cherry Hard Cider again from 1911, which I really do love this flavor. I drank one just, the other day. I was just like, "Oh, this would be refreshing," which I don't do ever. So that should really tell you something about how much I'm enjoying the flavor of this. But I do also have a Mr. Pibb. That did happen today, so
No, and I really like the bottle or the can, like the container is
yeah,
really pretty.
it's solid black. It's my color palette. It matches my nails.
That's cool.
It
That
really
Yeah.
is a
does.
good can.
Yeah.
We voted. It's good. Good can.
Yeah.
Randy, that's what we should post. Look, a good can.
Right,
We
yeah.
just posted 4 stars.
Well, and I like it because I didn't realize drinks were starting to do this, but it's got a sweetness scale on the
Oh,
back of it. So like I was able to
Oh,
look at their drinks and see which one like I like a sweeter drink. So this is a 4 out of 6 on their scale.
well, that's
that's an
nice because then you
interesting
can,
scale.
yeah, you can be like, oh, if this is a 4.
Yeah, like why did they stop at 6?
Why'd they stop at six?
Yeah, numbers are arbitrary.
That's what we learned in our space episode.
Numbers do not matter. It's whose line is it anyway in a sweetness scale.
Nothing matters.
After I said that whose line is it reference, I was like, how many people actually listen to this podcast that are going to have whose line is it anyway from their childhood? Did you guys watch it?
No,
I watched
no.
it like a
Okay.
lot.
Greg, that
I like
does
the
make me feel
British
a little
one
bit
more,
better.
like with the host more than the Drew Carey one, though.
I've
I've
seen the
never seen
memes.
the
Like,
British one.
oh, that's like the older one, because then they like kind of rebooted it with Drew Carey.
That's
But
the one I watched. I
I watched
loved the
both.
Drew Carey one.
I've watched neither.
It was
You
fun.
should actually, Karina, you would enjoy that. You
If
would.
you like improv like that, we've been watching so like College Humor went under and then they bought the company and formed Dropout. I don't know if y'all have seen that. They have a streaming service. Uh
Didn't know
it's
that.
like
No.
$5 a month and like they have a lot of cool stuff on it, but they have this one show called Game Changers where literally every game's different and like you don't really know what the rules are until like they just kind of surprise the comedians with stuff. And so like it's really funny because there's a lot of improv like baked into it.
You know what I will say I do watch on occasion? That might be something you would also enjoy. Have you ever watched Japanese game shows?
I
Oh, a
haven't
little
like
bit,
searched
yeah.
for it.
Like
But
the like
the
Wow.
being quiet in the library and stuff like that.
Wow, guys.
I've seen no,
Wow.
okay, but I've
I
seen
gotta
clips
say,
of it
they've
on
got much
I
better
saw them on
TV than us.
TikTok. They no, they do, but
No, the slide ones absolutely me. I
the
love when they do the oil slides and the people take them out. Like it's just it's just over and over. It's a Sisyphean feat. That's what they're trying to do. Like they're never gonna make it to the top because the other person in spandex covered in oil is going to take them out.
Yeah.
no, they really do. They are way more creative. We should try
They're so
harder.
good. They're really so good.
There's
Okay,
a lot.
sorry. I don't know how we got here, but yes, I've got a hard cider and a Mr. Pibb, and I'm happy.
Oh, Greg, what did you have?
I have the trifecta or a trifecta, not
The
the
trifecta.
just a trifecta. I have an icy right here because we've been on an icy kick lately. I have my beer. It's the Lost 40 Snake Party double
Oh,
IPA.
It's
So,
giving Slytherin.
so snakes on the can, and then I have whiskey in this caked up jar, which I think
the
we talked
cake
about.
jar makes a return.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, we talked about that already.
I do like a good Slytherin reference, though. That's fun.
Mhm. I went to a gas station and I picked up a wine and um
Yes.
Like
because
gas station
Like one
wine.
does.
as one
Yeah.
does because I didn't want to go anywhere else. It's the closest I wasn't going to go. I didn't have time. I had to finish my notes, all 17 pages of them. So I was like, okay, where can I go that's quick and I can like just search and be like, okay, how can I tie whatever the fuck I find to this? And I found this Menage a Trois wine. It's just a regular black bottle and there's like two ladies holding hands.
Menage a
I think I've
trois.
had that one
Menage a
or
Trois.
like one of their wines.
Oh, and
What kind is this one? What kind is this
it
one?
is Dolce Sweet Red Blend. I'm not a huge red person, but I was curious. It's sweet collection, so like if it doesn't taste like juice, what will, you know?
I
Juice?
love that you say you're
Yeah.
not a red person. I'm pretty sure you've only had red during our recordings. Yeah, El Bastardo, wasn't that red too?
It was, but that one I got specifically for the little boy on the front. It kind of smells like pineapple juice.
I love that you're telling me it's a boy because I legitimately, in my head, it's a frog.
It's very interesting. It's a frog.
It is. That's what I picture when I think of that bottle. I think of a frog.
Randy, he's just a guy. Him and his bike.
Mr.
I
Toad.
love him. I have the bottle. I want to make a little film of it and then put the clip of us talking about it, of me talking about it over it, because
Sure.
it's so funny to me. Like it's hilarious. Anyway, I need to film a nice. I need to put it in the sun. Let him show.
Give give it some golden hour
We need
lighting.
some good lighting for this.
Okay. A photo shoot for the little boy. That's definitely not a frog.
I want to make it a light, a little lamp for my office, so he's with me always, Randy.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway,
Hmm.
speaking of things that are there that you can't see that are with you always, at least you can see the little boy. Let's talk about Ida Craddock. So, does anyone know anything about her? I know Greg was like, I am holding back from Googling, but
I
Randy, what
did.
did
I
you
was
find?
really tempted, and but I didn't do it. So
But I
I
didn't.
I honestly was just doing like Idocratic adjacent things because I wanted to see like what the flavor of tonight was going to be. I got a lot of I got a lot of interesting like website suggestions. I got not like inappropriate, just the topics were very interesting that they were suggesting. It was giving a lot of sexual health. That was coming up quite a bit. I got some things, postings about masturbating. That was really, I was
hell
like,
yeah.
okay, not sure how that got there. And then, it was like honestly, it was just stuff in that vein. Like I can't think of like how I would classify the third bucket, but yeah, though it was very much I knew that it was going to fit right in with sexy history when I started getting some of those suggestions.
Yes. It was, I feel like that said a lot and was also vague, Randy.
I told you I didn't like look up specifics. I just wanted
Yeah.
to know what we were going to be talking about tonight.
What's the
What the
vibe?
flavor. The flavor.
Yeah. Okay. So about a month ago is when I first started learning literally anything about Ida Craddock. And only because I didn't, I am going to admit something. I don't look at the comments on YouTube and I forget a lot. And so I finally checked them like a few months ago and was like, wait a minute, people wrote things. And a user TI 1610, um, sorry if I got your name wrong, uh, suggested more than once that we do an episode on Ida Craddock. And I was like, yes, let's give the listeners what they want. So, one, if you have a suggestion of what we should record, what we should focus on next, let us know. We're always ready for a suggestion. And there's always a theme to fit. And we don't know everything, obviously. So, we're here to learn and we're excited for whatever you guys will suggest. But, anywho, Ida Craddock. According to Lee Eric Schmidt, author of the book Heaven's Bride, Ida Craddock was an American mystic, scholar, sexologist, martyr, and also madwoman. Most of my research does not come from that book because I found it like today. I found it and was like, well, thank you. Um, but I
This
used,
goes back to our prep styles, Karina. I
well,
love it so
I
much.
only found it for like I was Googling her name and I feel like she's super hard to find anything about. The only reason I even found that book was because the only information I really could find about her was like talking about that book and that was it. It wasn't even
Yeah,
about her. It was about the
yeah,
book. And I was
yeah,
like, great. I'm glad this book
yeah.
exists, but like you can't just Google her timeline. Like what did she do, right? I like to look for like abridged versions of stories sometimes to give me an outline. And so I couldn't find anything about her and I was like, where do we go from here?
So was that
Sorry, I don't.
the only book you looked at was the one by Schmidt
No, I looked at a different
or
one.
or a different one? I was gonna say you mentioned the name and I was like, I know I've heard that. I have one of his books uh as already like an academic book. So I was like, I could vouch for him as a writer. I have this book on the Enlightenment that's called Hearing Things, and it's all about like sensory sort of like, how people dealt with like visions and like, like sensory kind of stuff.
It's an interesting time, I feel like.
Yeah.
I really want to like Greg. Maybe you can explain how this happens because I really want to know how it becomes like how topics get so niche and then there's like one historian who does one book and then that becomes like the primary authority because that's exactly what happened when I did the Rebellion of Berbice episode. There was one book and because it had come out recently, that's what I had attributed to. All of the articles were like referencing that book and talking about that book and a lot of the interviews were in response to the materials in that book. And then I was like, well, where did she write this book from? Like, where are all of the other researchers and the anyone else who looked into it? I don't understand how that ends up happening.
I mean, I think sometimes if you stumble on something really niche, like, and there's not a lot of source material, then it's kind of hard to like pull another interpretation out of that, right? I mean, like,
Hmm.
honestly, that's kind of what I'm doing with what I'm working on, which we should do a deep dive at some point on the book that I'm writing, because it's kind of like that. There's like some other, like, there's a few people who've written about him, but whenever this comes out, it'll be the only book on this guy that's like focused on this guy
Right.
that anyone's ever written. And it'd be really hard to like do the same thing,
Yeah.
because I'm trying to take everything I can find that's out there about him.
I guess that it does make more sense if it's like one individual person that didn't live a super public
Yeah.
life where there are like lots of different sources. But I don't know. I just feel like someone like Ida Craddock, who is a historical figure and did so much like I know in the public and something like the Berbice Rebellion, I just would expect there to be a lot more
Hmm.
around it. It just is
Yeah.
astonishing to me that there's not more.
I mean, I feel like the other way people show up is if like if you use them as like an example in a bigger thing that's about like a movement or a topic or something, that's
Hmm.
like bigger than that one person, like the American Revolution. You could write tons of books about the revolution because your angle can be different, but with certain people or certain, like a certain battle or something, there's like I feel like there's only so much to say about that specifically.
Hmm. Okay.
I don't know. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, I don't disagree with you. There are like the American Revolution spans multiple years, like there's
Mm.
multiple players in it. There's a lot more there. I wonder how much of it also has to do with the fact that like the record keeping, are historians even interested in this work? Like there seems to be so many people doing work on the American Revolution, but who's doing work on these other, I don't know. Maybe I'm just
Yeah, like are you
maybe
just
I'm just
writing for other
angry
specialists or something?
for the history that we're talking about. Maybe I'm just angry that it's not getting its due.
I think it also comes down to popular interests and also who writes the history books. Why would we learn this if it's like rich white men writing about rich white men, you know? They're not going to be
Yeah.
Yeah.
talking about Ida. They don't give a shit
Yeah,
about Ida.
I'm literally sitting on a thesis defense this next week, so I had to read a student's master's thesis, and a good chunk of it is about how like the Daughters of the Confederacy like had to approve textbooks. Like they set it up in like some of these southern states to where like they had to give textbooks their stamp of approval, and they would only approve ones that like promoted myths of like lost cause myth with the Civil War and shit like that because they were trying to reframe what the Civil War was about. And that's the reason why people here today are like, it was about states' rights, when like, no, it wasn't. And it was
Right.
objectively about slavery.
Yes.
But like, I mean, we can point to the period in history where like literally all this group wanted to do was rehabilitate the South, and make it to where like they were the valiant heroes who lost and not the fucking losers who started the thing.
Yeah. They're still doing that to this day.
Yeah.
hmm Anywho, so I didn't use that one book. But I did use this other book called Sexual Outlaw, Erotic Mystic, The Essential Ida Craddock by Vere, Vere, Chappel. And I really liked it because it's a biography of her life. She has a lot of sources at the end that you can also use, which is something I look for in whatever I'm looking at. That's how you find credible sources, everyone. You look into what people are using. Anywho,
That has my stamp of approval. It's like tell my students.
look for sources.
Yeah. And also look at the sources that they used and go find them and look at them.
Yeah. Anyway, I really like that book because it's a biography of her life, but also has an anthology of her works, like a lot of the pamphlets that she put out and the books and the papers that she would write. So we have to start with context, as we do here. It's the late 19th century, and the country was in the middle of the emergence of the new religious, sexual, and political ideas. So it's the time of the Third Great Awakening, which began around 1850 until the early 1900s. Randy, what is that?
Oh, I thought I was muted. You guys didn't hear me. I didn't sing out loud, actually. I sang in my head. When you said that, all I could think was of the song, The Dawning of the Age of Aquarius. The way that
Right.
you said it, that's all that I could hear in my head. It's like, here they come.
The age of Ida Craddock. Like,
Basically, yes.
yeah.
It's her time. Well, and it's a weird time, I feel like. People are just like, I have this idea, we should change the way we do everything. People's enthusiasms for religion and moral reform led to the creation of socially pure organizations, such as the Young Men's Christian Association, the YMCA, which was founded in 1844 in London, with the first U.S. branch opening in Boston in 1851, and the Women's Christian Temperance Union, established in November of 1874 in Cleveland, Ohio. I just thought that was interesting because I did not know how old the YMCA was. Crazy. These groups often called for alcohol prohibition and regulated the sexual behavior of its members. Shocking. In America, along with religion, spiritualism gained in popularity around 1848, because after the Civil War, the nation was grieving and looking for ways to contact the many husbands who had died on the battlefield, which makes sense. Like, a lot of people died. So many people died. Like, how could you go through that much loss and not want to reach out to the people? But also, sexology as a science had been established in Europe with the works of Richard von Krafft-Ebing and Havelock Ellis being released and being top sellers in America as well. Their work was redefining sexuality as a realm belonging not just to the church, but one belonging to science as well. Because before, people would just talk to their priests about sex-related things, as one does. And now they were like, maybe we could put some science in here. And this was also a time of like, there's science for everything. They like find radiation, the X-rays, vaccines. They're like, did you see these little bacterias? They live in everything. Like,
I'm
this
like
is a time of
trying
revolution.
I'm like
Sorry,
trying
Randy.
to think when was hysteria? Like was this also during the time of like female hysteria diagnosis where they would
I want to say yes, but I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure, but
I
I
mean, I
would say
think,
yes.
yeah. I mean, like, this is still a period when you could, like, institutionalize your wife because you were just like,
Yes,
I'm
this
She
tired of
talks
her.
too
this is
much.
Yeah.
the I was trying to see what level of asylum we were at, I guess. Like
No,
is it
it's
Yeah. Yeah.
well,
I mean,
and
it's
that
still
comes
very
into play
much
for
like,
Ida later, where you can just be like, I said you're going to the asylum, Randy. You've been
yeah.
Mhm.
talking too
I mean,
much,
heck,
and then they just send you away.
that one that I told y'all about in West Virginia that's like haunted and shit is like,
Mhm.
it was in operation until like the 1990s, which is crazy. If you look up the building and stuff, it looks like this old asylum, and it is, but it was, you know, still a working facility until not that long ago.
Mhm.
We did do a previous episode. I'm just plugging now. About Elizabeth Packard, who she was married to a preacher and she talks too much. So then they fire him because of her. And then he's like, no, you're going to the asylum. And so she fights for women's rights not to be sent to the asylum without like just cause and not just because somebody said so. And oh my God, I got out my phone to find the number. It's episode 14. So 14, 15, 16, 17. So if you're interested in finding out about Elizabeth Packard as well as the history of psychology as like a profession, that's a pretty interesting listen. And also a throwback to before Randy and Greg were here. Wild.
I was like I have listened to some of those episodes.
Yeah, her husband Theophilus is not great. He is not a good person.
I
Were you
really
just
actually
doing
it
these
was
episodes
sad.
yourself?
It was me, Christina, and my friend Nevada.
Okay.
So we did, yeah. I've been doing this for a minute, which is kind of wild for me.
Yeah.
But I like where we've come to. Like I'm very excited to see this new journey for us. But before we get to Ida's role in this wild new world, let's talk about the woman herself. And a lot of this I could have left out, but it was so fascinating. I thought it was super interesting. So now y'all have to hear about it. Ida is the daughter of Joseph Craddock and Elizabeth Selvage, who went by Lizzie. Joseph was born in Maryland and he was raised a Quaker. He was also an inventor who held two U.S. patents for improving refrigeration. He was married and had kids with a woman named Mary Crow when they were both 22. Unfortunately, she died at the age of 35, and many believe that after he lost her, he also lost his religion. 2 years after the loss of his first wife, 37-year-old Joseph married 21-year-old Lizzie. They had two children, but Ida was the only one to make it to adulthood. She was born on August 1st, 1857. Unfortunately, Joseph Craddock died of tuberculosis when Ida was just 4 months old, so she never really got to know her dad. He asked Lizzie on his deathbed not to raise Ida religiously. He was like, I don't want that for my daughter. And then Lizzie said, no, I'm going to be evangelical Christian now. And she also served as the treasurer for Philadelphia's, what's that group again? The women's one, Women
Oh,
Christian
the
Temperance.
WCTU.
Yes, that one. So she was very
Just
religious.
off the top of your head, you knew that one, Greg? The
Yeah.
You
WCU.
don't know that one, Randy? That's crazy.
I don't know what the acronym stands
I
for
teach about him a
still.
little bit in the freshman
I'm like,
survey.
what is that? Yeah.
What is that acronym again for clarity?
Women's
For the people in the
Christian
back?
uh
Temperance
Women's
Union.
Christian Temperance Union.
So she was the
Cool.
treasurer for them.
Could
And
I
so they're
also ask another
oh, go ahead.
question? I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be really intrusive in my questions right now.
No,
Um,
this is good.
what does evangelical Christian mean in this time period? Because I was raised evangelical Christian, and so I have a very specific idea of what that means. Is it the same thing? Is it the same core at its core?
I don't know how everybody else did it, but Ida's mom was very strict in everything. So I would say that it is the same. I would even say it's even more conservative than it is now.
Yeah, that's really what I was thinking. It was probably more.
I don't know,
That
Greg. I
tracks.
don't know
I mean, I
much
feel
more,
like
but Greg
it
is
depends on like well, I mean, it depends on like the denomination or the sect, what that's going to look like. But evangelical just, I mean, really like at the core means that you're just trying to convert people, right? And it's focused on this conversionary experience where you
So
like,
yes,
you know,
it's
you go from being a
exactly
sinner
the
to I am
same.
saved, you know? I
Randy.
mean,
So it's
everything else is
similar.
like window dressing, but that's the main
No,
thing.
no, literally, like just to, trauma dump for a second. Like that's that is because I went to, for all of our listeners, I went to a deeply religious I had a deeply religious upbringing school wise. My family much less so, but I went to an they quoted it as non-denominational, but 100% evangelical. 100%. Like we did
That's
missions
just the
trips.
Baptist church in disguise,
Yeah, we
is
we
when they're
did missions
non-denominational.
trips. We spoke in tongues. Like it was this whole thing,
As one does.
as one does.
As
Yeah.
one does.
But like, so we would do missions trips, and they started sending us out on missions trips. Like you did local missions as a child up until sixth grade, and then once you hit sixth grade, you were eligible to go to other countries and do missions trips as a part of the church. And I say all of this because one of the things that I associate so strongly with my childhood is just this overwhelming like fear that if you didn't convert them, they were going to go to hell and you were the one responsible for them going to hell. Like it was literally giving kids ulcers. Like the really religious kids were like, "No, you've got to take Jesus as your savior.
Oh
Like
no,
you like I
Randy.
can't be responsible for you going to hell."
I
I
can relate
So
to
said you're
that.
going to church.
literally
Yeah,
all of this
my
track.
upbringing with my family was kind of like that, and my biological dad was like Catholic but lapsed, and so I remember having a similar period where I was like really worried for him because I'm like, oh, if he doesn't start like going to church again and like believing he's gonna go to hell, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah, the rapture is coming.
There's nothing
I
like
mean,
some trauma for sixth graders, you know?
it's for real though. For honest to God real. Yeah. That's a lot to put on a kid's shoulders. Somebody else's salvation. That's outrageous. Thank you, therapy.
Woo.
Still working to unwind that
Yeah,
responsibility.
yeah. I don't know if Ida ever went to therapy, but I hope she had something.
Not if it says hysteria was 1880, so maybe they would have just not helped her actually.
We'll get to it, what she does instead.
Okay, sorry. Guess, tell me.
I
Karina,
was gonna
tell
go
me.
somewhere, and then I was like, no, Karina, hold back. Restrain. Anyway, so yeah, her mom was super intense and raised her really religiously and sent her to a Quaker school. She had a terrible temper, the mom, and physically abused Ida until she was in her 20s. Ida remembered later that her mother instructed her to never allow a man to kiss her or put his arm around her or even hold her hand. But Lizzie, Ida's mom, did get married twice after Joseph Craddock died. Definitely do as I say, not as I do, Mom. I am judging just because of the way she talked to her. Anyhow. Although
Of
Lizzie
course.
was. Oh, go ahead, Randy.
No, of course. Of course you're judging her
I'm
because that's
judging hard.
outrageous.
It is.
Don't let a man hug you or touch you, but let me bring men into the
But
house.
also,
It sounds like the start of a Criminal Minds episode, truthfully.
really, truly, though, a CSI, or what is it? What are those called? Law and Order
SVU.
SVU. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anywho, okay, yeah. So, yes, she did get married twice, but she also was basically just a single parent. She lived with Lizzie, lived with Ida, her daughter, obviously, and also the daughter from her husband. Like when her husband died, he already had kids, and so one of them stayed with her, and her name was Rebecca. So she had two kids, Rebecca and Ida. And they also lived with an Irish maid, and they had a female tenant that lived in their house. But they also had a vacation house in New Jersey and a horse. And I thought that was crazy, like I was like, where was she getting this money as a single mom in the 1800s? So Ida did what any woman does. She founded a, not Ida's mom, not Ida, her mom. Ida was
I
three.
know. I was like, Karina, my very first thought, she was selling feet pics.
In the 1800s, Randy? No.
I was
I
saying
feel
maybe
like
like a
that would
prostitute or
be,
something, but that doesn't jive with the religion.
but feet
No.
pics? No, I'm telling you, I bet you she would pose. She'd pose real nice and have them painted.
No.
Ankles were all the rage back then. I bet you those feet pics would have really sold. I'm just saying, just a thought.
She
But tell
chose
me
not
what
to
she
do
did.
feet pics. She
What did
chose
she
to
do?
sell weed instead.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. She founded a medical business and she sold one thing, and it was cannabis indica liquid. And she sold it as a
Okay.
cure for consumption and to treat
Yes.
bronchitis, nausea, nerves, and also will break up a cold in 24 hours.
That
I
part I
mean,
don't know.
some of
Yeah,
that
well,
tracks.
so she kept her business running until 1897, which I was like, damn, girl. Like Lizzie, Ida's mom, she does do terrible things to her, but like she was a businesswoman and I respect that part.
She was a woman of her time.
She knew she had to feed her children. She had to do what she had to do. So, as an adult, Ida becomes a writer and a teacher, and she even authored a textbook called Primary Phonography, which was published in 1882. Also in 1882, Ida was the first woman to apply for admission to the University of Pennsylvania. She was able to pass the entrance exam and was recommended for admission, but the Board of Trustees decided to prohibit the admission of women, conveniently, instead of approving her application. So, denied. She can't come in. Even though she was able to meet all of the,
Standards.
yes,
Yeah.
Sure, why
shockingly, a
not?
story we've heard before.
Yeah, you can't go letting the women get too smart, you know?
That's how we got here,
All I
honestly.
can think of is that asshole of an astronaut who was like, "Sure, we'd let them be astronauts if they met the qualifications, but we
Oh,
don't
yeah.
allow them to meet the qualifications. They've been doing it for centuries."
But Ida didn't let it bring her down, which you shouldn't. Do not be silenced. By 1887, Ida was 29 years old and living in California near the San Francisco Bay Area. She worked as a bank clerk and taught typing and stenography. She started attending the Unitarian Church as well. I had to Google this Unitarianism because it combined with like some other Itarianism,
Universalism.
universalism,
Yeah,
and
I
so then it
gotcha.
becomes like another thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
Yep.
Unitarian Universalist.
Which
Yes.
rock out to them, that's when I was growing up, that's what I originally thought that non-denominational was.
I think that's what they want. They want to advertise themselves to be. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah.
until literally as a small child, I thought once I got into like elementary school, I realized that's not what we were about, but yeah.
Once
Yeah.
I soon I realized that's not who we were, but
I grew up being told that we love everyone.
Yeah.
Just lip service, but rock out to them because I do love a good unitary universal church.
Yeah.
yes, I had no idea what it was. So we need to do like a small story on that because it is pretty interesting. Especially the fact that they just combined recently.
Hmm.
It's like a
We
name
have
for the
one.
things you believed in.
We have one here in Buffalo, and like they do church things. Like when I associate what I associate with Christianity, this church actually does. They feed the homeless, they work on shelters, they help the immigrants. Like, I fuck with this church. Anyway,
Yeah. We have one on
That
Reservoir
is
here in
high
Little Rock,
praise, Randy.
you know.
I know.
That's
It's
wow.
And
back when I was like trying to figure out a way to, this is trauma dumping a little bit too. When I was trying to
I'm here for it. Let's go.
find a way to make things work with my ex-wife, because like I was not religious anymore and she still was, but evangelical Baptist. I was like, well, I'm down to go to like either a Unitarian Universalist church, a really chill Catholic church, or a really chill Episcopal church. Those were like the three that I was like I could tolerate and like make friends with people, and I could still like, get a good message for me out of whatever was coming out of the pulpit, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now I don't do any of that. So,
Yeah. I mean, I'm not religious like Greg. We're not religious. But if I had to, that's the one I'd go to.
yeah.
Instead, I go to mass with my sister and it makes me want to leave, but I'm supportive.
Well, I feel like Ida liked it for another reason because she would go there and talk, they would talk about psychology books together and like learn together and have new ideas together. She said, I've always longed to be thrown with a set of people where I should have to work to keep up with others rather than restrain my steps to hold back with them. Now at last I'm thrown with such a set of people. So she was pumped. She was like ready to engage her mind and like discuss things and learn.
I love that.
Hmm. She's really a phenomenal and very interesting woman. But Ida does not become a famous name until the World Fair in Chicago in 1893. The fair cost 18 million and today it would be about 17 billion to pay for this fair. It took 26 months to construct and it opened on May 1st in 1893. The fair was covered the fair covered 600 plus acres south of Chicago on the shore of Lake Michigan. They had 200 structures, gardens, artificial lakes, canals, and islands. Like they built a city. It was operational for 6 months and had more than 27 million visitors, equal to half the US population at that time. Sorry,
I was to
Greg.
say, one serial killer running around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But like that was
Yeah.
a later issue.
Well, and
That wasn't planned for.
throwback to another one of our episodes because we also talked about this World Fair because it's where they did the Christopher Columbus
Hmm.
exhibition, which solidified his place in myth and American history.
The propaganda, Randy? The
Yeah, the
propaganda
propaganda.
meeting?
This World Fair really so much happened at this World Fair. I think actually maybe we should do an episode just on the World Fair.
I would love that actually. I've taught a book about it, like The Devil in the White City, multiple
Hmm.
times.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
very fascinating.
It's a
And
great,
also
yeah,
like we've
great thing.
we've just talked about two of the exhibits there, the whatever the things that they
My
had.
That's
Yeah.
my exact point. What else was lurking in those
Yeah.
shadows?
Cracker Jacks, actually.
The hell is a Cracker Jack, Greg?
Like the candy, in the
Oh,
box with the toy and shit.
they had it there?
That was when it was debuted.
Oh wow, what a debut.
A truly American experience, that World
Hmm.
Yeah.
Fair.
Truly. I mean, this country's done a lot of shit, but that's really beautiful. When we want to hustle, we do. Anyhow,
And the Ferris wheel, right? That was
right,
debuted there
exactly.
too. I mean, it's just cool.
Speaking of the Ferris wheel, Greg, one of the events near the Ferris wheel was modeled after a street in Cairo. It was full of astrologers, snake charmers, and monkeys, obviously. But the most famous attraction, as well as the most controversial, was the Dance du Ventre, or the Dance of the Abdomen. It was the introduction of belly dancing to America. This sounds super scandalous because people can't watch other people move in any capacity without being like, that's too sexy.
Because feet pics really would have been scandalous in this
That would have been
time
too much,
It's an exhibit of
It's
just
ankle
ankles.
pics. Yeah.
Yes, super scandalous.
slapping
It's
my
like that line
fucking
in
knee.
Back to the Future after he plays the guitar where he's like, ah, maybe y'all don't get it, but your kids are gonna love it.
Oh my God, it's so funny. Okay, sorry. Keep going, Karina. Tell me more about these belly dancers.
Well, the best thing about the belly dancers is that they showed no midriff. These, the problem here was their imagination was too strong. They wore ankle length skirts, so they wore the skirts and muslin trousers, and shirts that covered their torsos, arms, and shoulders.
Yeah.
The issue was that their dance had a lot of undulating, a lot of thrusting
It's
motions.
too sexy.
It was sensuous. It was too much. It was scandalizing. And it became one of the fair's most popular attractions because people like to look at that. People like to look at people move. Unfortunately, there's
What
always
a
a
way to
guy.
say that. Yes.
If anyone can say something and make it weird, I can, Randy. It's my
It's
special
like
skill.
people like to watch people move. Yes. That could mean so many different things, though. You could be watching the Olympics. People like to watch people move.
You're
At the
watching porn, they're
basics,
just moving, you know?
Yeah. What's the difference?
Really.
at the end of the day, most things are just people moving through life, Randy.
Yeah, that's my point. Like, you said something without saying anything at all.
Very wise. Anywho, so yeah, there's always a guy, right? Trying to keep the people down. Anthony Comstock, the guardian of American public decency.
I
Yeah,
know Comstock.
he's not great, guys. He's not great.
He's not.
He had founded the New York Society for the Suppression of Vice in 1873.
He
It
founded a society with suppression in the name.
Oh, wait, it gets
Oh,
worse. I assume you're gonna talk
Who's
about the big
gonna
points, so it
join
gets
that?
worse.
I'm not gonna join anything with suppression in the name. Ooh, it's a
But
bad
like,
look
but
for
people were
me.
joining these temperance organizations. There's like this big upswing in morality, right? Where people were like, oh, like that was part of like being middle class was being repressed and not doing anything bad, having no vices.
but that was a big part of
What are they,
the
Jesus? Have no
well,
vices?
it's because it's the
What the hell
time of
does
the
that mean?
Well, no,
revolution.
but
It's like the people are like, we're extra religious now and we really believe this.
yeah,
This is
I
our
mean, literally,
truth.
this is like around the time that they had like the Scopes monkey trial and stuff, like teaching evolution and shit is like late 1800s.
This is not my this part of history is not my favorite. So you
Yeah.
guys are saying a lot of things I
No,
have
there's
not.
like there's like this big
What are you
upswing of like
talking about,
religion
Greg?
at the same time that like science is making advances,
Yes, now that
That
side
like
I
really
knew. We're
like kind of
doing
clashes.
we're talking about germ theory development here. We're talking about public health getting its kickoff at this time period. Yes, that side I'm well aware of. It's really hard to think about this happening at the same in the same time period though.
Well, the people had to live somewhere, and these people were trying to control what was going on in that area. Basically, is the yeah.
As they do.
Unfortunately, that's how it works. It is a really interesting concept to think about how much science was evolving and at the same time religion was also holding people back, controlling people further.
I think, but that's a reaction, right?
Mm. That makes sense.
Definitely.
Yeah. Anywho, so the man with suppression in the name of his organization. This was an offshoot to the YMCA, which is the best part, I think. And it was funded by conservative businessmen like J.P. Morgan and Samuel Colgate.
Names we
Anthony,
are all familiar with.
yep. Anthony Comstock spent a lot of time lobbying Congress and eventually got them to pass a law that aimed at suppressing obscene literature and articles of immoral use. So if he
Wait,
said
wait,
it's
wait.
not okay,
Is this the
This is the laws they're
act?
wanting to to
This is the
re
one that they're trying
the
to
one they're wanting to
re-up,
bring back so
right?
that you can't mail
Wait,
like
no, I actually do know this. I do know
yeah.
this now. Okay, we've come full circle. We're back to medicine and science.
And
This is
this is where it
about to.
all started with the Comstock
Okay.
laws.
Okay,
I
sorry,
always
Karina.
I
Tell
Yeah.
always
our
bring
listeners
things
what.
to what is relevant, Randy. Unknowingly, without a plan, I show
I
up
was like,
on time.
we're back to my realm of knowledge. Okay, Karina, tell the listeners where we're at.
It's a whole circle. Anywho, so yes, Comstock. He made it illegal to send any obscene, lewd, or lascivious materials. Anything too sexy was not okay through the
Lascivious,
mail.
just so
That's
you.
it's
Lascivious. I don't.
lascivious, yeah.
Lascivious. Every
Lascivious.
day we learn a new
Good
word
word.
here.
I
It's
love
that's
that
a good
word.
We
word
I
really.
just
I
though.
need to
happen to
start
really
writing
like
Yeah.
these
that word.
down.
That's a good one. It just it's a good one that rolls off your tongue though.
It's, well, it's a provocative word for a
It
provocative
is.
meaning, apparently.
Why you
So
and you so rarely get to use that word,
Yeah,
lascivious.
I don't use that like day to day.
Lascivious. I like it. I'm gonna
Like
try
that's
it.
so
Look,
lascivious.
lascivious.
Yes.
put it on your Tinder profile, people.
Lascivious. Yeah, like that's just your whole
Want to
profile
know
is
what
just
this means?
lascivious.
Anywho,
Let's
so
look
you
it up
can't send
together.
any lascivious materials through the mail, including contraceptive devices or information about sex, birth control, or abortion. This led to various states passing their own, often stricter versions of Comstock law. But Comstock was not a man to be limited. He did not stop there. He used his influence in Congress to gain a position as a volunteer postal inspector, which allowed him to conduct investigations, order arrests, seize and destroy materials.
As a volunteer, they gave him way too much permission.
Yeah, yeah. They just let him do literally everything. But it's okay because he, you know, had a gang of private detectives to go along with his shenanigans. And they also did undercover stings. Because why not? I don't know who's giving him all these resources. That's the other thing is people are like, we really should limit the sex. Give him a whole gang of people. Anyway. So yeah, Anthony saw the dance, the belly dancing, and obviously was disgusted. He was not a fan. He considered it distinctly and disgustingly obscene. So he went to the Board of Lady Managers, which I think is an interesting name. This was a group that was made to represent women's interests at the fair. So they were there to protect women. It's really for us.
That's pretty cool though.
Hmm. To protect our delicate dispositions.
And if anyone wants to further investigate that conversation, we can hop over Discord as to why that was needed.
I'm gonna forget about that, but we should bring it up later, Randy, because I want to know more.
Well, it's not like anything specific. I
Just
just
men are
mean,
pigs, is that what we're
yes,
yeah.
exactly. And let's talk
You don't
about
have the
it's more
way or
about
the reason?
deniers, really. Honestly, that's more what I'm getting at is people who are like, you know, we don't need that. Like women are exaggerating, like this doesn't happen. In the 1800s, they had a whole women's board to keep it from happening, and that was supposed to be a more genteel time, right? Like that was supposed to be a
In the
softer
1800s, you
society.
couldn't go to the freaking outhouse without getting raped and assaulted.
Right, but
Women
this
would
is the
wait.
time of the more morality police, temperance. Like this is what I'm saying is this is
That's
supposed to
just
be a
like for a
softer.
certain segment of the society though. There's like another segment that's like, fuck yeah, let's
Do whatever we want.
let's rape.
You know what? Rape has no classes, Greg. They're all
That's
doing
true.
it. Anywho, so the Board of Lady Managers. Anthony's like, have you seen this? Did you see the undulating? Lascivious. You know? That's a Harry Potter that's a Harry Potter thing.
What is
That name. Lascivious or whatever.
lascivious?
Lascivious.
Lascivious
That's
Black. Like that's who it
yeah.
was, right? It was
That's a spell. Lascivious. Anywho, okay, yeah. So the group was not really opposed to the dancing. They were like, it's kind of nice. It's fascinating, even. But they did make a formal complaint with the fair's director, George R. Davis. And Davis authorized an investigation, but then he was like, meh.
I
And at the
love
point,
women supporting women. I
At this
love
point,
women supporting
oh
women.
no, Randy, I think that's the thing. I don't think it was women. I think it was men in this group, unfortunately.
Oh,
Like it's men being like,
Undulating?
that kind of
no,
gives it a different like tone
yeah,
though.
it's a group of. That's
It,
why I was like, you guys are really for this group, but I'm almost. I feel like it was a bunch of men. We
I
should
was
Google
hoping it was
this.
a bunch of women who are like, how can
The
we
ladies,
protect
the
women?
women's
I could
board?
see being like men being
Yes,
like,
Board of Lady
there's some
Managers. We
stuff
need
that
to
women shouldn't
I'm
see
doing it right
here, you
now.
know.
You guys continue. I'm looking up the Board of Lady
because
Managers.
I need to know if it because I am under the impression that it was a bunch of men.
It
That's my
probably
fear.
was.
Because I could see a bunch of men being like, the women can't be exposed to this. Belly buttons? No. But by the time that Comstock
That's
came with his,
lascivious, the belly button.
oh,
No, no, no. Sorry, I had muted myself. No, it's women. It
Oh,
was
it
a
is
oh, it's
women.
women. Oh, thank
federally
God.
Okay.
appointed
All
Oh,
right. Yeah,
body
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
women.
I feel better.
That's what I
Okay.
wanted it to be. So, you know.
Me,
Sometimes we get a good one. With the so the okay, so one of
and
the
it
women
was
was like,
huge.
it was cool.
It was 118 women.
Oh, wow.
2 women from each state and territory. Oh,
Oh,
117.
interesting.
And 9 from Chicago. And then they would take turns overseeing the board.
Oh, that is really cool. Well, the women of the board at the time were like, we think it's cool. Oh, Randy, what did you find
No,
now?
They're like,
sorry, I'm
yeah,
learning so much
slay.
more now. I'm learning. I'm just
We're gonna have to
I
write
just
it
kept
down.
reading. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop reading because I want to hear about Ida.
We have to talk about Ida. But we do, I think now we have to do one about the Board of Lady Managers because it sounds pretty interesting.
Again,
Oh, when
I
we do
think
the
we should just do
fair,
a yes, I think we should
And
just do a
that could be a
fair.
subset of the fair.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it'll be cool. They did do the formal complaint and he was like, it's halfway through the fair. This is our biggest attraction. Shut up, Comstock. He like did an investigation but didn't do anything about it really. And so he took that personally and publicly threatened to get the fair's commissioners indicted for keeping a quote disorderly house, a charge more typical for a brothel. On August 5th, 1893, the New York World paper quoted him saying, "It's got to stop. The World Fair must be razed to the ground, or these shows must stop. It is an assault on the pure dignity of womanhood." And I'm going to tell you this right now, as a person who pole dances for fun, I have never been like, this is an assault on my dignity when I go to pole class. Like, what the heck? Anyway, but some people have a delicate disposition.
The
The
men.
paper, yeah, it's them.
Men,
So,
this is a classic example of being told, "No, I know what's best for you." "No, I think I'm fine." "Nope, you don't know what's best." "I'm going to tell you, you're not okay.
I'm
You're
here to protect
suffering."
you. You're suffering, Randy.
"You're suffering. Be quiet."
Anywho, yes, the dance is an assault on womanhood. But the paper made sure to describe how Anthony Comstock, a stout man, imitated the dance and then nearly fell onto his sofa instead. On August 13th, 1893, the New York World dedicated an entire page to letters received in response to the controversy.
Oh, I was really hoping you were gonna say they did like a editorial where they painted him reproducing the dance. I would
I
love
would
to
pay
see
money.
clips of that. Yeah.
I would pay money for that. Yeah, I want to see it. It's 7 clergymen that supported Comstock, and they were like, yeah, he's right. The woman shouldn't be moving at all. Stiff as a board. And then the last 2 letters were from women, and one of them was 2 full columns of letter from Ida Craddock. And that is it for our introduction on Ida Craddock. For the next part of her story, tune in on Sunday when Karina will dive deeper into Ida Craddock's work and her battles against Anthony Comstock. Until then, thank you for listening and thank you for supporting our podcast. If you would like to continue to support us in our historical endeavors, please let your friends know about our podcast or share us on the internet. Our name on most socials is sipandsaga_society, or visit our website, sipandsaga.online. But for now, we thank you for listening and goodbye.